What's up? Episode 2, Chewing the Fat with Fatbacks BBQ. I'm your host, Devin Osborne, of course, and I have the pleasure of being with you here today. So today, I want to talk about seasonings, alright? Now, seasonings, I'm not sure what you guys do at your house, your home, but these seasonings that we use are imperative, okay? I think that overall, most restaurants and general businesses that sell food lack in the seasoning department. And a lot of times this is because, well, seasonings are expensive, especially if you buy a lot of them, and two, a lot of people don't know where to go with them. Okay? So one thing that we're going to focus on today, we're just going to go through a couple of seasonings, just to show you guys kind of what we do here, kind of what we think, and how we go about some things. Maybe it'll help you out in your cooking game at home. Maybe not. Let me know in the comments, please. And we're going to go over some stuff, maybe, making your own kind of mixture and seasoning and things like that. All right. So our rub, the stuff that you see on your food here and that we use every single day for our food and for our meat, that's going to consist of 14 spices, okay? So it's not a ton. And you might be saying, 14 spices, that's a crap ton, But really, it's just simple spices. These up here, they're not all in there, but I'm going to use these for examples later on. But what I'm getting at is that there's a lot of flavor in just those 14 spices. And that's how we get to the master flavor that we have, all right? So I just want to look at a couple of these real quick. We'll come back to the rub here in a minute. All right. We'll start over here on the left. All right. This here is celery seed. Okay. Now you might be thinking, I have no clue what that is. Well, you're not wrong. I mean, it's not like it's very popular. I don't usually go to the store asking for, let me get some celery seed. And I usually don't think to put it on my food because it's not important. For the most part. So this is kind of selective, okay? However, what you're going to look at, what I'm getting at here is we've used this time and time again on various different things. It's an undertone kind of flavor. It's very prominent in its voice, so it'll speak through, but it's a very underlying flavor, all right? So you're going to want to try something like this, celery flake, any of the so-called leaves, like oregano, basil, for those are your really basic ones, but then you get into like celery flake, thyme, and so on and so forth. But things like that, and picking up seasonings like this, you don't always think to incorporate. You can always try and experiment around with them and see how they produce and the flavor that they produce and see if you like them. Anything from chicken. This is not just for barbecue. This is for everything. This is what all these seasonings go for. Anything from chicken to beef. I've even had some people try it on fish, things like that. You're going to want to experiment. And that's the whole point of this video today, is just to improve your game at home by experimenting. A lot of people are scared to experiment, or they just don't know. And the sad part is they typically never venture out because they think, well, I just don't know what to do, and I'll just go off the recipe, and usually they'll add a pinch of salt here or there, but that's so basic. So go beyond that, break your chain, buy that extra bottle of seasoning that you think looks interesting at the store, and then pick it up and take it home, try it out on whatever you're doing. And if it comes out like garbage, just try it again with something else, or try using it a different way, or use more or less, or increase the variables. It's very simple. The next one we'll do, this Riley's all-purpose seasoning. This stuff is great. Literally, it's as it describes, all-purpose. So I've seen people use this, and we have ourselves on everything from grilled foods, whatever, all the way to seafood, fish, blah, 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 beef, pork, prime rib, steak, roast. This thing is a fantastic seasoning. If you have not found it yet, go to your seasoning aisle and do so. I'm not sure what the price is. Some of them are more expensive than others, but really, you're not talking anything out of the $7 to $14 range. And this stuff can really last you. And also, if you're going to eat food and you're going to cook, don't disappoint yourself, all right? Do something that tastes good, all right? It's not that difficult. And when you get all-purpose seasonings, these are great because there's a ton of them out there. Not all of them are great. Don't always stick to them, okay? You can always go past it. But these are going to give you a lot of flavor, and it's already mixed together, and you don't even have to worry about it, whereas these are just simple seasonings themselves. All right? So we might come back to this, but we'll set this to the side real quick. All right, so this is where we talk again about getting extravagant and weird, kind of. Okay? This is Himalayan pink salt, right? And you're like, again, I have no clue what that is or why I would use that. Well, frankly, we didn't either. Well, maybe my dad did more so. But we picked this up the other day, and we were like, let's try that and something. And we still haven't gotten all the way through it yet. We've tried it on a couple things. But this here can add an element of crystallization, caramelization on some things, a different level of flavor. It just, stuff like this changes the quality just a little bit, and it might change the color, the presentation of it. So you never know. You just gotta go weird on some stuff sometimes and expect that it's gonna change, and hopefully, it comes out for the better. You just play around with it. If you mix up your own barbecue seasoning at home, or any seasoning at home for that matter, and you use salt, maybe mix this in, exchange this for one of the seasonings one time. It's kind of it's a different route. See what happens. It's all an adventure. Like I said in the last video, if you'd missed it, we talked a lot about the cooking process in itself and barbecue, but barbecue's an art. I'll repeat that again this time for those that didn't hear maybe last time. It's an art. So everything you do is colorful. It's supposed to be a splash here, there, everywhere. Cooking in itself is the same. So go out, find it. All right. Try something new. Okay. This here, okay. This is garlic powder. Actually, we'll go to the Goya seasoning. Okay. This is obviously another all-purpose seasoning. This stuff is great too. Okay. These people usually, if you get a good seasoning like this, I think this is more expensive, more in the costly range, but this stuff here, they got it figured out. Okay. They've got a good seasoning, all-purpose. I've used it on many things, everything from chicken to fish, green beans, cornbread. No, not cornbread. But you could if you were making more of a savory kind of cornbread. But for real, try some of this stuff out. This stuff is really good, particularly when I'm eating lean. Okay, I'll put it on the grill, on the flat top. Does some great stuff. So you're going to want to look for seasonings like this because this is really going to help you out in the short game. So you're going to put this on. Maybe you want to add some other spice to it, and then there you go. Voila, you've got a pretty good ingredient, pretty good seasoning with little to no trouble at all. Once again, like the Riley's here. Okay, simple, easy to use, quick, fast, and affordable. So try those out. Okay. Once again, those are all-purpose seasonings, and there's a ton of them out there. It's not just these two. There's a ton. I can't even list any of them off really, because there's just plethora of them. Not all of them are good. You have a bunch of Weber seasonings for grill. Those are great, but those are kind of somewhat basic. These are where it starts to get extravagant, and the flavors really pop. There's a lot of undertones in there that you might not pick up, but they pop. And when you put them on, you grill them. It's got this underlying flavor, and then it all creates this kind of collage, and bam, it's a beautiful piece. So our last seasoning here is going to be garlic powder. Okay, I want to check the label, make sure I'm not telling you the wrong seasoning, but garlic powder. This is a basic seasoning. Okay, this is one of the, if I had to say, I would say it's a core seasoning, meaning that this is foundational. This is obviously one of the seasonings in our rub, and I think it is for most seasonings. Just like this Goya, it has garlic powder as a base. I'm sure there's a little bit in there. And this goes for along with a lot of seasonings. As you know, at home, if you use it, you can sprinkle it on, but that's not going to be the only flavor you're going to want. You're going to want to add some more. So this goes along with a ton of flavors. Obviously, salt's a core seasoning, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, etc., things like that. So use these. These are essential. I want you to go out and make your own kind of seasoning, see what you think, mix it up. There's plenty of recipes you can follow, but really it turns out great if you try and attempt your own. So go out, use these things. Garlic powder, great base, love it, has great flavor. Go out, try it. You can never use too much or too little. If you do, like I said, try it again. You'll figure it out. Not too bad at all. All right. So guys, there are tons of things that you can do with these seasonings here. Everything's got its own flavor. It's got its own texture. Try it out. Try it. Please don't give up. Obviously, some of them are going to come out bad. Some of them are going to come out great. You just got to explore, okay? There's so many seasonings out there in the world. Get your seasoning cabinet built up. Try it out. Let me know what you do. I'd love to hear what you cook, what you breed. Go ahead and grill, whatever you do. It's getting close to springtime. Great time to try all these things out. Like I said, let me know. If you got any questions, please message me on Instagram. Same thing with Facebook. Go on and leave a comment on YouTube as well. Okay. So if you haven't subscribed on any of those platforms, go ahead and like us on Facebook, please. We'll go ahead and follow us on Instagram. And lastly, we are obviously on YouTube, Fatbacks BBQ. Please look us up. Please subscribe. Love to have you guys there. We're really going to build that platform out. Hope you guys enjoy this. Okay. If you don't, if there's some things you think I could change up, let me know, please. We're going to get better. Keep improving. If this is your first time joining, I appreciate it. Watch the last episode or intro video. I'll give you a little bit of brief description about what this is. For our next video, I might try getting a little pan through the restaurant. We'll see about our daily process. Really appreciate it once again, guys, for listening. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.